Hello, everyone. Welcome to the very first episode of Talk Easy English 101. I'm Alex.
And I'm Sam. We are so happy you are joining us today. This is the podcast where we help you speak English naturally, slowly, and with confidence. If you are a beginner, or if you feel nervous speaking English, you are in the right place.
Today's topic is something everyone feels, even me, and I've been speaking English my whole life. We are talking about the first hello, specifically how difficult it is to start a conversation with a stranger or someone you just met.
Oh, definitely. Alex, I'll be honest with you. My heart still beats fast when I have to talk to someone new. My palms get sweaty. It is very scary.
It is, and for our listeners, it is even harder because you're doing it in a second language. You worry about grammar, you worry about your accent, and then you suddenly forget every English word you ever learned.
That's so true. Your brain just goes blank. But today, we are going to break down those walls. We'll share some funny stories, give you 3 simple tips to start, and explain 2 big principles to keep the conversation going. By the end of this episode, you'll feel ready to talk to anyone.
So, Sam, let's start with the why. Why is it so hard? For me, I think it's the fear of being judged. I'm afraid the other person will think I'm weird or that I'm bothering them.
I agree. We think we need a reason to talk. We think, I can't just say hello, I need a professional reason. But in reality, humans are social animals. Most people actually like it when someone is friendly.
You're right, but my brain doesn't always believe that. I remember a time I was at a coffee shop last year. There was a woman sitting at the table next to me. She had a bag with a logo of a university I used to go to.
Oh, that's a perfect icebreaker opportunity.
I know. I kept saying to myself, just say, hey, did you go to that school? But then I started overthinking. I thought, what if she didn't go there? What if she just bought the bag at a thrift store? What if she thinks I'm staring at her bag?
And what happened?
I sat there for 20 minutes. I drank my coffee so fast my stomach hurt. Every time I opened my mouth, I closed it again. Eventually, she got a phone call and walked away. I felt so silly. I practiced the English in my head for 20 minutes for a conversation that lasted 0 seconds.
I have a similar one. I was at a dog park. This man had the cutest golden retriever. I wanted to ask what the dog's name was. I walked up and I was so nervous about using the right question structure that I mixed up my words. Instead of asking, "What is your dog's name?" I looked at the man and said, "What is your name, dog?"
No, you called the man a dog?
Yes, he looked so confused. I turned bright red and just walked away in the opposite direction. But you know what? Now that I look back, it's funny. Even if you make a mistake, the world doesn't end.
Exactly. And that's the first thing our listeners should know. Mistakes are part of the story. If you say, what is your name, dog? People might laugh, but they will usually be very kind about it.
So let's move into the practical part of the show. How do we actually start? Let's talk about our 3 easy start tips. Alex, you go first.
Tip number 1 is the environment tip. This is the easiest because you don't have to talk about yourself or the other person. You talk about what is around you.
Like the weather?
Yes, but more specific. If you are in a long line at the supermarket, you can look at the person next to you and say, the line is moving very slowly today, isn't it?
That's great because it's a shared experience. You are both waiting. You are both in the same situation.
Exactly. Or if you are at a park and it's a beautiful day, you can say, it's a lovely day to be outside, don't you think? It invites the other person to agree with you. It's a very safe way to start.
I love that. My tip number 2, is the compliment and question. This is a powerful one. People love to be noticed in a positive way, but the secret is you have to ask a question after the compliment.
Why the question?
Because if you just say, I like your hat, the person says, thank you, and then silence. The conversation dies. But if you say, I really like your hat, where did you get it? Now they have to answer with more information.
Oh, I got it at a small shop downtown.
Exactly. Now you can ask, is that shop near here? Or do they have other colors? You have opened a door.
That is a great tip for beginners because the vocabulary is usually simple. I like your object. Where is it from? Very easy English.
Now, Alex, what about tip number 3? This one is special for our listeners who are still learning.
Tip number 3 is the honest approach. Sometimes we try to hide that we are learning English. We try to act like we know everything. But being honest can actually make people more friendly.
How would you say that?
You can walk up to someone, maybe at a community event or a library, and say, "Hi, my name is Alex. I am practicing my English conversation. Do you mind if I say hello?"
That is so brave. And honestly, if someone said that to me, I would be so happy to talk to them. I would speak a little slower and help them feel comfortable.
Most people are helpful. By being honest, you take away the fear of making a mistake. You already told them you are learning, so if you say cat instead of dog, you can both just laugh about it.
So we have the environment, the compliment, and the honest approach. Those get the conversation started. But Alex, what happens after the first minute? Many of our listeners say, I said hello, they said hello back. Now what? We are just standing there staring at each other.
That is the awkward silence. To avoid that, we need our 2 big principles. Principle number 1 is the tennis principle.
I love this analogy. Explain it to us.
Think of a conversation like a game of tennis. When I speak, I am hitting the ball to you. If you want the game to continue, you have to hit the ball back to me. If I hit the ball and you just let it hit the ground, the game is over.
So yes and no answers are like letting the ball hit the ground?
Exactly. If I ask, do you live near here? And you just say yes, you drop the ball. To hit it back, you should say, yes, I live just 2 blocks away. It's a very quiet neighborhood. Do you live nearby?
I see. You gave me information and then you asked me a question. You hit the ball back to my side of the court.
Exactly. Every time you speak, try to add 1 piece of information and 1 small question. It keeps the energy moving.
That leads perfectly into principle number 2, follow-up questions. This is how you show you are listening. Instead of jumping to a new topic, stay on the current topic and dig deeper.
Give me an example, Sam.
Okay, let's say the person says, I went to the beach last weekend. A beginner might say, oh, okay, I like pizza.
That's a total subject change.
Right. Instead, ask a follow-up question. Which beach did you go to? Or was the water cold? Or did you go with your family? These questions show that you care about what they said. It makes the other person feel important.
And for our listeners, you can use the 5 W's for follow-up questions. Who, what, where, when, and why. If someone mentions a job, ask, why do you like it? If they mention a movie, ask, who was your favorite character?
This is such good advice, Alex. It turns a scary conversation into a simple game of curiosity. You don't need to be the most interesting person in the room. You just need to be the most interested person in the room.
That is a great way to put it. Be interested, not interesting.
We have about 5 minutes left in our episode. I think it's time we challenge ourselves. It's easy for us to sit here in a studio and talk about these tips, but it's harder to do them in real life.
You're right. We should practice what we preach. So here is the challenge. Between now and our next episode, I am going to use the compliment and question tip. I'm going to go to the local library tomorrow, and I'm going to find someone and compliment something they have. maybe their notebook or their laptop case, and ask them a question about it.
Oh, I like that. I'm going to take a different challenge. I'm going to use the environment tip. I have to go to the post office this afternoon, and there's always a long line there. I usually just look at my phone, but today I will put my phone in my pocket, I will look at the person next to me and make a comment about the wait or the weather.
That's a big step. No phone? That's the hardest part.
It is, but that's how we grow. And to our listeners, we want you to join us in this challenge. You don't have to have a 30-minute conversation. You don't have to be perfect.
Just try one thing. One, the weather is nice, isn't it? Or one, I like your bag. Where did you get it? Just hit the tennis ball one time.
If you do it, we want to hear about it. You can send us a message or leave a comment. Tell us, what did you say? How did the other person react? Did you feel nervous? It's okay if it was awkward. Every awkward conversation is a step toward a confident conversation.
Exactly. Remember, every friend you have was once a stranger. Every great conversation started with a simple, scary hello.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for listening to Talk Easy English 101.
We hope these tips help you feel a little more brave this week. Don't forget to practice, stay curious, and be kind to yourself as you learn.
We'll be back next week to talk about how to talk about your hobbies and interests.
Until then, keep talking and keep it easy.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye. That is it. Subscribe for more.